What's Crack-A-Lackin? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
Welcome into the episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into every single wide receiver matchup for Week 13. No teams are on a bye. Thanksgiving slate, Friday games, Sunday games, and a Monday night game. We're going to be looking at points against. We're going to be looking at some game scripts. We're going to be looking at injuries. And we're going to be looking at wide receiver receptions for PPR sites. I'm going to drop a bunch of information on this. But if I do go faster this, I am trying to pump this all out before I get, to Thanksgiving here. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys and your family as well. Hope you guys stay safe. Hope you guys eat a ton of food. I can't wait to grub tomorrow and watch these games, guys. Now, if you haven't already, tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. Helps me out a ton. Turn that bell on. I'll be live tomorrow on Thanksgiving at 11:45 a.m. Eastern time. And then we got family time after that. And then if you guys haven't checked out the guys' FF Discord or the sponsordrafters.com, both those links are pinned in the description of the video that I run with Big Draft Energy. Now, let's look into every wide receiver matchup here. I'm going to give you green, must start, yellow. I'll go high in Superflex, raise it up and down the bar. And then red will be a must sit. And let's look into what you should be doing here in Week 13 at the wide receiver position. So if you guys are new to the channel, this is my wide receiver board. Green must start, yellow is going to be a flex, and I will go high end, low end flex. And we're going to start off with the Packers game, so I'll use this as an example if you guys are new in here. If you're not, you've seen the drill before here. So say, for instance, Christian Watson, I'm like, hey, it's a strong flex play. Strong, like high end flex play, I move between the yellow and red. Low end flex play, I put in the red, and then solid flex play, I just leave in yellow like it is right there. So we are going to kick it off here with, and the away team's always at the top, going down to the home team at the bottom. So we are going to kick it off with the Packers at the Detroit Lions. Big NFL playoff implications on the line here. 7-3-1 Packers, 7-4 and Lions fighting for that home field advantage in the playoffs. 48.5 over under. Detroit is favored by 2.5 in this game. Now, when I look at this game on the Packers side, this is going to just become a nightmare. And I know their offense has not been great with Jordan Love. And honestly, they should be stripping the play calls from Matt LaFleur here. But, and I also forgot to mention, we're also going to be looking at the defensive statistic metrics from just 4 weeks instead of the entire season. Because a lot of changes happen. Coaches get fired. Defensive coordinators get fired. Injuries change. Everything changes. Game script, offensive line injuries even affect how the game moves for the defensive side as well here. So when I'm looking at the Green Bay Packers here, this matchup is going to be great. And Jameis Winston just shredded him. Wan'Dale Robinson just dropped 30. And Isaiah Hodgins even had a touchdown last week against him. So it's a great matchup. And the Detroit Lions, they rank 22nd, giving up 32.1. They've given up 577 passing yards just to the wide receiver alone and 4 touchdowns. So, someone's due for a touchdown mathematically. But it's just like if Jaden Reed comes back and its status is still unclear for Week 13 and Matthew Golden comes back, I mean, how do you decipher which wide receiver to start here? So I know Christian Watson's been balling and Romeo Doubs is usually their possession guy. And it's going to be a passing matchup because Detroit has been very good versus the run, even though the Josh Jacobs is back. And I still like Jacobs for a touchdown because he scores every game. But again, this is just a nightmare situation. So, I mean, if you want to flex Romeo Doubs or Christian Watson, I'm okay with a flex on either one of them. Jaden Reed's first game back, I wouldn't, really think about it unless you're desperate. So low end flex play there for him. Now, on to the Detroit Lions side, man, here we go again. You get that Jameson Williams 2 big pop game, and everyone gets excited, and Dan Campbell and the play calling is all going to Jameson Williams. And then what do you get? You get that goose egg 0, man. So Amon-Ra is always a start. Let's be honest on that one. I don't care who the guy is playing, no matter what the matchup is. And you are going up against the Packers, who have been number 2 against the wide receiver over the past 4 games, only allowing 16 points a game, only 327 yards and 1 touchdown. Still, I'm starting Amon-Ra regardless. Jameson Williams, like I said all year, this is up to you. If you want to play the boomer bust game, go for it. Throw him in there. I never recommend it. I just always leave it up to you guys because it is just impossible to judge, man. It's either 0, 20, 0, 20, 0, 20. And like I said, if you ever had that pop, sell him so you don't even have this nightmare decision. Oh, the Thanksgiving slate is just ridiculous. Coming off that Packers-Lions game in the morning and the afternoon, they're going to give us a game that is most likely going to rival Super Bowl viewership right here. And that is going to be the Dallas Cowboys the Dallas Cowboys are at home. I messed up the graphic here. Versus the Kansas City Chiefs. So Kansas City Chiefs 6-5 coming off that big win against the Colts. And then you got the Dallas Cowboys 5-5-1 coming off that major comeback versus the Philadelphia Eagles. You're at home here in the Dome in Jerry's World. There's going to be no weather. Shootout potential to the max written all over this game. And if you guys looked at my running back video, startup sitting before, I think this is all wide receiver game. I don't like the running backs in this game at all. And you have Tyler Guyton ruled out for the Cowboys offensive line, which is going to hurt Javonte Williams even more. But the Chiefs already locked up JT last week, just like I said. So when I'm looking at, and we'll do the Cowboys first here, even though I messed up the graphic. So the Cowboys going up against Kansas City Chiefs here versus the pass, right? Kansas City Chiefs, they rank 14th, give up 28 points a game, 437 yards, 2 touchdowns, but it doesn't matter to me. I wouldn't even care if the Cowboys were playing the Eagles, and the Eagles' defense is lights out. And look what happened. When you have Pickens and CeeDee Lamb out there to go along with Jake Ferguson as well across the middle, it is just too many weapons for a defense to deal with. Yeah, McDuffie will be on one of them, and he's a good corner, but the other one's going to eat. And that's just how the Cowboys are going to be all year long. I'm never sitting either one of these wide receivers. Now, Kansas City Chiefs side, the only two wide receivers I would start over Rashee Rice on the entire week is going to be Jackson Smith-Njigba and Jamar Chase. That's it. No one else. Rashee Rice, 100%. You're starting this guy everywhere. You're getting the Dallas Cowboys secondary, who has just been anemic. They've gotten so much better versus the run, but they still cannot stop the pass. They give up 33 points a game, ranking 23rd, 465 passing yards, and 3 touchdowns. Now, if you want to take the shot on Xavier Worthy, this is the 1 week I put him as a sleeper play. He's still very hard to trust as a gadget guy, but I'm okay with it if you need to throw him in there as a low-end flex play. So for Thanksgiving, they didn't just give us 1 good game or 2 good games. They decided to make it 3 with the freaking Cincinnati Bengals and smoking Joe Burrow coming into M&T Bank Stadium in Maryland, taking on the 6-5 Ravens. Both these teams are still fighting. The Bengals are not eliminated yet. The over-under is 52.5, which is another high implied point total game, which is what you want. And oops, this is wrong. See, you're going through it live. So T. Higgins has been ruled out with a concussion. I don't know why I had him in there. Now, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow back. Are we really a question? Is it ever a question with Jamar Chase? No, it is not. It is a must start. If you want to take a flex play shot at Andre Losavas, I'm not mad at it. People are going to say Tinsley because he scored last week. I'm not ever even considering Tinsley at all. So when you look at the Baltimore Ravens defense over the past 4 weeks, and it's been like grimy, stingy, ugly games for the Ravens with every single win too, which is concerning, like offensive side for them. But they've been okay versus the wide receiver. They rank 13th, giving up 27.7, 580 pass yards and 2 passing touchdowns. So when I'm looking at the game script here, Chase Brown's obviously been emerging here a little bit more, opening up the pass game a little bit. Mike Gesicki back will help them as well at the tight end position. But Jamar Chase, obviously a must start. And Losavas, not a bad dart throw here, especially with the high implied point total game. On to the Ravens side, Rashad Bateman looks like he's going to be back, but I'm not even thinking about him or DeAndre Hopkins. They become just an outside shell. And when it comes to Zay Flowers, and I'm looking at a shootout game, all of the Bengals have been very good versus the wide receiver over the past 4 weeks. They're ranking 8th, giving up 25.4. That's because they get gashed by the run so bad. And by the tight end. So it's not like they're very, very good versus the wide receiver. And Cam Taylor-Britt, their corner, was also ruled, injured reserve. He got hurt. So the opportunity is going to be there in bunches for Zay Flowers, but Derrick Henry is going to feast as well. And so is Mark Andrews. So I'm starting all the stars in this game, like Jamar Chase, Zay Flowers. I want the high implied point total game, and I want them to be on my roster this week. So not just 3 Thanksgiving games. They go, hey, guys, we'll give you a 4th game on Friday, which is going to be awesome, which is the Chicago Bears at 8-3. And I still think they're like a fraudulent 8-3, but they're winning games by just a little smidge every single time, man. Comeback drives is crazy, and their defense is obliterated too. So 8-3 here. Big, again, NFL implications, playoff implications on the line, home field advantage implications on the line. Eagles are favored by 7 in an 8-3 matchup, which is wild. Now, on the Bears side for Caleb Williams, I do not like this. And you guys, if you've been subscribed or been watching my content before, I've loved Caleb Williams almost every single week. I don't like him this week. I don't like him after the Eagles are coming off a loss to the Cowboys. They're at home. They're getting Jaden Phillips more involved with Jalen Carter. Their D-line's becoming nasty. And they have Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell out there that are absolutely stud corners. So I when it comes to Rome Odunze, he's been a roller coaster ride. I know that DJ Moore popped last week. I know that my guy Luther Burden is finally getting involved, but I can't recommend him as a start. This is just a tough game that I'm kind of trying to avoid with the Bears wide receivers here. And the over under bet is even 44.5 in an 8-3 game, which shows you that they don't think it's going to be that high. So I'm going to follow along. You can flex from Odunze, low end flex DJ Moore if you want, but I'm really, really not that high on the Bears this week. Eagles side, you smash on both. AJ Brown, if you just watched my smash wide receiver video, he is on it. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the Eagles. Sorry, the Eagles do rank 18th right in the middle of the pack, giving up 31.3, 517 yards and 2 touchdowns. So now we're looking at the Eagles offense here. This Bears secondary is both their corners, Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson, are IR. The 3 linebackers were out last week. They're all questionable to play this week again. They got their backup corners are even banged up coming into this game. This is a must-start situation for all Eagles here. Bears are 38.3, ranking 26, 38.3 points per game, and then 658 yards over 4 games. That's ridiculous just to the wide receiver, and 4 touchdowns. That's a touchdown a game. I love A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith and Dallas Goedert and Saquon and Hurts in this game. Start all the Eagles. My 8-4 San Francisco 49ers are headed into the dog pound in Cleveland, Ohio to take on the Browns led by Shedeur Sanders. Congrats on the win to Shedeur, man. Very, very nice there. Now, my 49ers, man, Brock Purdy threw 3 picks. You know, we won the game versus the Panthers in CMC's revenge game. CMC, of course, backpacked us again. And they give us an over-under of 38.5 in this game. Niners are favored by 5.5. That's a low implied point total game versus a Cleveland Browns defense that has been number 1 versus the wide receiver over the past 4 weeks. Only allowing 13 points. What? 200 yards and a touchdown? I mean, you can low-end flex play Ricky Pearsall or Juan Jennings if you need to throw them in there, but I am not high at all on my Niners passing game here coming into Cleveland on the road. And it's going to be cold, man. It's going to be really, really cold in this game. They have the weather at, 41, feels like 28. So it's going to be freezing. And I think it's going to be more of a CMC game again. That's just what I think here. So if you need to throw them in the low-end flex, I'm not mad at it, but I just don't love it. Now, Brown side, Jerry Jeudy. This is like the Jerry Jeudy matchup. And I know that was Shedeur Sanders' first start last week, and I know Jerry Jeudy fumbled, trying to make that play from behind. It wasn't his fault. That was a great play by the defender. You get the 49ers defense. Our defense is beat up. We've been struggling versus the pass heavily all year long. Or not all year long, since all the injuries have happened. So we rank 27th. We give up 39.3 points to the wide receiver, 663 passing yards over the last 4 games. That is freaking third most in the NFL. And we've given up 5 touchdowns. Now, I know it's not sexy. I know it's not trusted. But I honestly would like to flex Jerry Jeudy over Ricky Pearsall or Juan Jennings. And that's just purely based off of how beat up this 49er defense is. And Cedric Tillman and Isaiah Bond, I'm not even thinking about. Trevor Lawrence and the 7-4 playoff, possibly bound Jacksonville Jaguars are headed into Nashville, Tennessee to take on the 1-10, gaining some life Titans led by Cam Ward. He looked a little better last week against a very tough matchup against the Seattle Seahawks. I did not see that coming. So, when we're looking at the Texans here, the over-under, this is wrong game. I got not the Texans, we need the Jaguars. Sorry. This is a nightmare again. So BTJ is back. This is like the Green Bay Packers right here, right? So, I mean, how do you decide here? I mean, you guys tell me in the comments. We got BTJ coming back. You got Jacoby Myers. You got Parker Washington. You got Brenton Strange, the animal, looking great. So, yeah, if you want to flex any of them, take a dart shot at them. I'm not mad at any single one of them, but I put them all as low flex plays. I mean, Parker Washington has the better connection with T-Law than BTJ does. Jacoby Myers getting grooved into this Liam Cohen system over the past 2 weeks. BTJ coming off, a 3-week ankle injury, which everyone tried to tell me he's coming back in 1 week. I was like, no way. So this is why I love Trevor Lawrence this week. This is why the answer is Trevor Lawrence, and the answer is very, very tough for these wide receivers. I mean, you get the Titans. The matchup is not bad at all, right? So Tennessee Titans, past 4 weeks versus the wide receiver, they rank 30th. That's third best matchup you can get, 40.5 points. Again, this is why I love T-Law. So 566 yards and 4 touchdowns. That's a 4-game span. That's phenomenal. But all 3 of these guys could hit, and I don't know which one to pick. So if you have any of them, I'm okay low flexing them all, but you could have a game where BTJ goes for 20 and Myers goes for 0, or Parker Washington goes for 20 and BTJ goes for 0. So it's like the Green Bay Packers. It's just going to be a nightmare for the rest of the season with this wide receiver room. And imagine if Travis Hunter was back too. Now, onto the Titans side. Chimera DK with a 20-point bomb last week. My sleeper play of the week. He also returned to punt, which is obviously not part of the, what I was thinking there. But you're going to get Alec Ayo Manor back as well. So the two rookies now are going to be the future of the rest of the season with the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward. So you're going to have volume, right? Because they're going to be playing from behind, most likely in every single game for the rest of the season, right? But when you're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars here versus the wide receiver, they've been middle of the pack. They rank 15th, giving up 29 points a game, 2 touchdowns, 535 yards. But again, if you know me and you know my channel, I like volume, and I don't think you're going to get much out of Tony Pollard or Tyjae Spears here for the rest of the season. It's going to have to be pass heavy. You're seeing Gunnar Helm get more involved too, so I'm okay with a low-end flex play on DK or Ayo Manor, probably at the same amount that I am BTJ Myers in Washington, because that's just a tougher situation over there. And you're probably going to get 7-8 targets for Ayo Manor and DK each, because there's no one else. Ridley's done for the year. So I'm okay with low-end flex plays in this game, and this is just a very tough game to decide for the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's a nightmare. The 6-5 Houston Texans 3-game win streak led by Davis Mills, but it looks like CJ Stroud is going to be back this week, which I think is going to hurt the Texans, to be honest. Are going up against the 8-3 Colts, coming off that loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. Over-under is 44.5. Indy is favored by 4.5 in this game. Now, and man, the Colts defense is they went for it, man. They spent their draft capital. They went and they got Sauce Gardner. They just got Tre'Davious Ward back, who was a stud last year for my 49ers. Their secondary is going to be nasty. But volume here, is king. So Jaden Higgins has earned a low-end flex spot. Christian Kirk earned a low-end flex spot last week. Nico Collins is always a must-start when he's out there, no matter what the matchup is. Regardless, he's earned that as well. So the matchup, though, man, the Colts, dude, they're number 9 versus the wide receiver and climbing since everyone's getting healthy too. So, and they're going to stop Woody Marks, and it's going to be a high-powered offense game script, although the Texans D is nasty as well. So they rank 9th, giving up 25.8, only 405 passing yards, so 1 passing TD over 4 games. So, again, you got 3 wide receivers that are emerging. You're in another tough situation. Nico's the only trusted guy for me. If you need to dart throw Christian Kirk or Jaden Higgins in your flex, I'm not mad at it. They have touchdown upside, but I don't love it. Onto the Colts side, Michael Pittman going up against the Houston Texans. These are 2 top 10 defenses in the pass game, but Michael Pittman, I didn't like him last weekend. Of course, he gets the score, but he didn't do anything besides that little touchdown route, which, of course, hurts my call. Texans, they rank 6th, giving up 25.1, 424 yards and 3 touchdowns. Still very, very good defense versus the wide receiver. I'm still going to say Pittman's the start. The Alex Pierce hype is kind of diving down. If you need a low-end flex play him, again, he's like Christian Kirk and Higgins. I don't love it, but I'm not mad at it if you need to dart throw it in your lineup. The 2-9 Saints are headed in to Miami, Florida to take on the Dolphins. And the Dolphins season is not over, guys, by any single means. They're 4-7, and they're about to get the Jets and the Saints here. They could be 6-7 right back in it. So that's good news for Jalen Waddle owners as well. So when I'm looking at this game, even without breaking down the defense, which we're going to get to here, you have Chris Olave and who? He's up there by himself. They just released Brandon Cooks. I could put Devon Vele up there, but I'm not doing that. And Rashid Shaheed traded away. This is why you have to love Chris Olave for the rest of the season. You're going to get 13, 15 targets a game. So when I look at the Miami defense, this is even like I don't believe that they're as high as they are because they do get crushed by the run. So it really has, up their wide receiver ranking. But they rank 16th, 29.2, 375 yards and 3 touchdowns over 4 games. Doesn't matter. Chris Olave has 108 targets on the season. That's top 5 metrics. He's going to get volume galore. And it carries over to Jalen Waddle. This is the same type situation. Tyreek Hill gone. Yes, they are going to get back Darren Waller possibly this week. He was, his window was open. We haven't got the official update. And you're getting the Saints defense, who's right around the same as the Dolphins. They rank 20th, giving up 31 or 32 points a game, 356, but 5 touchdowns, so a higher amount of touchdowns. So Jalen Waddle's touchdown upside is higher. And Malik Washington, super, super deep flex play if you need, like your dynasty, your 3 flex down below if you need that. Only way I like Malik Washington there. But Jalen Waddle, this is what I told you. Buy. Their schedule is golden for the rest of the way. Same with Chris Olave. It doesn't matter about the schedule. It's the volume. And these guys are volume killers. Heading down to MetLife Stadium, the 2-9 New York Jets are hosting the 4-7 Atlanta Falcons. And with the Bucs loss last week, they're not, statistically out of it. So when you look at this game, Drake London, doubtful, looks like he's not going to play, which I have so much Drake London, it hurts. Puts Darnell Mooney into a start category. I didn't like Darnell Mooney last week, and of course he got the touchdown at the end of the game just to ruin my call on him and honestly beat me in the league, which really, really hurt. So the New York Jets, and they traded away Sauce Gardner, but their defense, with the matchups they've been playing against, I don't know how they held the Ravens on like they did. I still like Darnell Mooney here. I mean, they rank 11th, give 27 points a game, 395 passing yards, almost 100 yards a game. The wide receiver, just, that's not phenomenal, but it's not bad. And then 1 touchdown. So, and you got Kirk Cousins. And I guess, I got to start believing in this Darnell Mooney, Kirk Cousins thing, although I really don't believe in it. Actually, no. This is not a must start. This is, I just don't trust him still. I can't get behind that. So he's still a flex play for me. Let me straighten that out. But opportunities there. Now, onto the Jets side. You guys know, if you've been here, Adonai Mitchell's been my guy, but John Mechie's been getting the touchdowns. But don't worry, Adonai Mitchell just got his first game of 85% snaps. The guy's separation is number 3 in the NFL. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to start to click. Tyrod Taylor out there. You get the Atlanta Falcons defense. I mean, this is a super, super plus matchup for the Jets passing game here. They rank 28th, giving up 39.8 points a game. 700 yards almost over 4 games at 680 and 6 touchdowns. Fire them up. They're both low-end flex plays. I just don't know which one's going to hit, although Mechie's hit back-to-back weeks. I'd say he has a little more of an edge. So I still don't like it as like a must-start flex. We'll move him up as like a little more of a flex play than Adonai. We'll move Adonai down right there, right? And I'll make a bar for next year. I just haven't had time. So I'm okay. Low end flexing Mechie or Mitchell, and I'm flex playing Darnell Mooney this week. One of the games I'm going to be just all over, fantasy-wise, DFS, everything, is going to be the Arizona Cardinals at 3-8, headed into the 6-5 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, we are going to need Baker Mayfield to play in this game, and that would really light it up a lot more for me there. But MHJ practiced today, saw him out there. I posted a little video clip of it as well. So I'm going to assume that he's going to be playing off the appendicitis of the 2 weeks he missed there. Michael Wilson has still earned the right to be in the starting category right now with the amount of targets he's seen, with the connection he's grown with Jacoby Myers. And my dog's trying to lick my leg here. Hi, girl. So when you look at this matchup here, I mean, Jacoby Brissett, the only quarterback that I'm starting over Jacoby Brissett this week is Patrick Mahomes. That's how much I like Jacoby Brissett, and let me tell you why. So, Tampa Bay versus the wide receiver, because their 2 corners are banged up as well. 44.4 points per game, which is 32nd. And just to give you a little analysis of how much that's worse than the 31st team, they're averaging 41.3. So that's a 3-point average swing, which is absolutely ridiculously bad. 622 yards over 4 games and 5 touchdowns allowed. Fire up MHJ. Fire up Michael Wilson. Moves Greg Dortch down. I had him as a sleeper play if MHJ doesn't play. So, the update today kind of hurt Greg Dortch here. I am all over this game. I want every single Cardinal in this game. The Tampa Bay defense is shattered, and they stop the run very well. They do not stop the pass. So it's just so advantageous for Jacoby Brissett and the wide receivers. On to the Buccaneers side, this is pending Baker Mayfield. I would move Emeka Egbuka down to like a flex play if Teddy Bridgewater is a starter. And Chris Godwin, the update is he's supposed to be ramping up more. Last week he came out limited like we talked about, so sit him last week as well. Could this be a time where he's a low-end flex play? Yeah, I'm okay with it this week with the ramp up. And you're getting the Arizona Cardinals defense. They rank 17th, so a little behind middle of the pack there. 30.2 points per game, 544 yards, so a lot of yards they give up, but 4 touchdowns, 1 a game. Emeka Egbuka's got to get it going again here. But what's interesting is Jalen McMillan update of his window is coming soon. Mike Evans update of his return is coming soon. Baker Mayfield is about to have weapons galore and one of the best schedules. They are about to shred everybody down the stretch here. The 9-2, my Super Bowl champion pick, LA Rams. Yes, I'm a 49er fan. Are headed into the 6-6 Panthers. Over under 45.5. And guys, the Panthers are 6-6, and they have the Rams at 10.5. Yikes for the Panthers in this game. The only thing I'm worried about here is Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. You never sit with Matthew Stafford. I told you they'd both be top 10. I told you he'd be chasing the MVP. Everything like that is happening. That is how good this is in Sean McVay's system. So don't even question it. Don't even ask a question. Devontae Adams in the NFL in touchdowns. Puka Nacua, you're never sitting. End of story. Not even reading the Panthers defense. Now, Ted McMillan side. This could be a bigger Tet game for me against a better defense because I look at it like this. And this is why I'm sitting Rico Dowdle in every league. So if you made it this far into the video, tune in. How much of a game script are we going to get here for the Panthers before this gets out of hand, right? Not going to be good in the run game. The Rams are number one. Such a good run D. It's phenomenal. They're good defense everywhere. Tight end, wide receiver, everything. Bryce Young, going to get destroyed. Probably 6 sacks, 2 interceptions, maybe more in this game. So when you look at Tet, he's probably going to have a bigger pass game volume here, depending on if the Rams don't game script him out with the time of possession like the 49ers did. That's the only thing I'm worried about. So Tet, Puka, Adams must start. I'm not touching Coker Leggett or Jordan Whittington. This one really pains me, man. The 4-7 Minnesota Vikings led by Max Brosmer. J.J. McCarthy has a concussion, but either way, J.J. McCarthy was poo-poo, not good. Are headed into the 12th man to play the 8-3 Seahawks, where the crowd is going to be rocking. 41.5 over under. Seattle's favored by 10.5, and I think they beat them by 20 in this game. Now, what we have to look at here, and this one hurts to put the graphic up. It just hurts. Just for reference here, I am sitting Justin Jefferson in one of my big leagues, but I can't recommend him, as a full sit, on a show. You can low end flex play him if you want. He hasn't had over 10 points in 3 games. Maybe Max Brosmer targets him more, but this is a nasty Legion of Boom young defense, and they have been just lights out. I mean, they were injured at the beginning of the year. They've gotten better and better. Now they rank top 10 versus the wide receiver at number 10, 26 points a game, 3 touchdowns, 367, not even 100 yards a game they allow. And you're going to have the defensive pressure of top 5 pressure rate, top 5 sack rate coming after a quarterback that's never played a game at the 12th man. Good luck. This is why I like TJ Hawkinson in this game more than any of the wide receivers. I think it's security blanket, quick check down. And it sucks for Jettas, man. This is such an elite superstar. I've never ranked him this low. It's absolutely just brutal. Just brutal. And Jordan Addison, I can't. So Seattle Seahawks side, 2,000-yard chaser, Jackson Smith and Jigba, nothing even to say there. Rashid Shaheed, since they traded for him, has done nothing. Cooper Kupp, I'm not starting in this game. Torrey Horton is on IR. And this is going to be a bad game script. This is why I like Kenneth Walker here, because I don't think the Minnesota Vikings are going to stay in this game at all. And they've been great versus the wide receiver. They rank 4th, 22.3 points, 454 yards and 1 touchdown, but no one is stopping Jackson Smith and Jigba, period. Josh Allen and the 7-4 Bills are heading into the Steel City to take on the 6-5 Steelers, and hopefully we get Aaron Rodgers out there, right? That's the key part. We don't have the official update yet, or I haven't seen it yet as we're going through it. So, sorry, I needed something to drink. We're going through about 30, 40 minutes here into this. So when I look at Khalil Shakir, and he absolutely popped off last week, but he did it all in the 4th quarter there at the end. This matchup is going to be great. And Dalton Kincaid is going to be back in this game as well, which could free up the middle as well for a little more for him, because the Pittsburgh Steelers ranked 29th, giving up 40.4 points to the wide receiver, 751 yards, dead last in the NFL, 5 touchdowns. And the Steeler run D is back. They've been getting better. They're top 5 versus the run over the past 4 weeks. So tougher matchup for James Cook. Keon Coleman's been benched. Josh Palmer, I'm not starting. Elijah Moore is cut. Brandon Cooks is in. Khalil Shakir is the only steady answer, and he's a high-end flex play for me for the Bills this week. DK Metcalf. I gotta be truthful here. DK Metcalf is a low-end flex play for me this week. Even though the Buffalo Bills defense is banged up, I mean, and they're really, really hurt. I mean, they are giving up 32 points a game, 529 yards and 4 touchdowns. But Aaron Rodgers banged up. They're going to rely on the run because the Bills have been struggling versus the run. And DK Metcalf off the high ankle sprain, I just don't trust it. And I think he's going to try and play through it because they're 6-5, and I think it's going to be an ugly DK game. But obviously, if you want to flex him, I'm not mad at the flex play for it. I just don't have him as a must start. Could he score? Could he, pop a big one? Yeah. And then look at his lines in Vegas, man. He has it's 47.5 for DK Metcalf. That shows you right there that they don't like it either. So I'm really, really low on DK Metcalf, but if you want a low flex play this week, you can. The 2-9 Raiders, without Chip Kelly, who was a $6 million highest paid offensive coordinator that got fired before we made it to week 11, are going to be heading into the Chargers. The graphic is upside down. Raiders are away, Chargers are at home. And I cannot recommend, and I don't know what the hell the Raiders are even doing, any wide receiver when Geno Smith is your quarterback. It has been bad. Like, one of the worst contracts, not looking good, and you're going up against the number 3 pass D in the Chargers, giving up 22 points a game, 273 yards to the wide receiver, and 3 touchdowns. Good luck. I'm not starting any Raiders, period, and it's time to see Kenny Pickett or Aiden O'Connell. I don't know what the hell Pico is doing there. Now, Chargers side, this is like the Jaguars. This is like the Packers. It's always tough. The matchup is very, very good. Lab McConkey is always the higher wide receiver out of them all for me to start. Definitely, for sure, he's more the star wide receiver there. And you're getting the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Raiders right now versus the wide receiver, they rank 21st, giving up 32 points a game, 614 yards in 4 games, so 155 a game right there, and 4 touchdowns. That's just to the wide receiver. That's not even tight end to running back. You got to think about that. So this is a very advantageous matchup for Quentin Johnson to hit a bomb, for Keenan Allen to have a big game, for Lab McConkey to have a big game. So, and I honestly, I've been watching the Amari and Hampton videos, and I really don't think he's going to make it back this week. So I think you got one more week of Kamani Vidal. Could Hampton be back? Yeah, he'll probably be like Bucky on a limited snap share coming in. So I think this is a more pass-heavy game. And again, this is like the Packers and like the Jags. Like, I like Justin Herbert here, and the wide receiver is tough. All of these guys could pop. So any single one of them could be a flex play. I like Lab McConkey as a high-end flex play. The 9-2 Broncos, chasing the Patriots in the AFC for the number 1 spot, are headed into a beautiful matchup at the Washington Commanders here. So it does look like we're going to have Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel, and Noah Brown back on the field for the first time, I think, since like week 1 or 2. But I'm not starting Noah Brown. And Cortland Sutton and Troy Franklin and the Broncos are going to be nice plays this week, but we're going to talk about why here. So, and I can't figure out which wide receiver I like. Like, I want to ladder one of them. If you guys are betting guys, there's a little inside tip. Dude, the Commanders' defense is terrible. And they're down Amos. They're down Lattimore. They're 2 starting corners. They're down. That's where they're getting gashed, and they're giving up 41.3 points per game. That's second worst in the NFL, ranking 31st. 568 passing yards over 4 games, and 5 touchdowns to the wide receiver, all over 4-game span. So I know Troy Franklin's gotten the targets, and the Oregon connection is growing. Broncos are coming off a bye. Maybe Cortland Sutton's old legs needed a little rest there. He's coming down to the end of his career. I like them both as flex plays. I want to put one higher. I just don't know which one. And I do think it's Sutton week over Franklin, but again, could go the other way completely, and I could be wrong there, but they're both flex plays for me. On the Commander side, it looks like we're going to have Marcus Mariota. JD5 has said that I will play if I'm healthy. I don't know why he tried to force it back out there. I don't know if we have, actually, let me Google this. I should have done this before the video started, but Patrick Surtain. I don't know. I haven't seen the update that he's returning here. So Patrick Surtain is returning for week 13. Oh, Terry McLaurin and Deebo, one of them is going to be cooked. And this defense is absolutely lights out. They're number 5 versus the wide receiver over the past 4 weeks. 375 yards, 0 touchdowns they've allowed. So low-end flex play at best with McLaurin and Deebo Samuel, just because their names. I actually do not like this matchup at all for him. Monday Night Football. I think it's actually going to be a good one, man. The 2-10 Giants get Jackson Dart back, practiced in full this week. Looks like he's going to be good to go. 10-2 Patriots, and their offensive line took a bunch of hits. Will Campbell headed to IR. Their cornerback also took a hit. They got a lot of injuries here at 10-2, so they need to hold on here. I'm glad they have a good record. The over-under is 46.5, and New England is favored by 7.5 in this game. Now, Patriots side, you're going up against the New York Giants, and I think the game is going to be more in hand here with Jackson Dart. I think if it was Jameis Winston, and I know Winston played great against Detroit, but that's a totally different beast than the New England Patriots defense. So when I'm looking at the Giants here, Stephon Diggs coming off a bad game. He's in for a bounce back. The Giants, they rank 24th, giving up 33.1. They've given up 608 passing yards and 5 touchdowns. Boutte, if you want to throw him out there as a dart throw for a Hail Mary touchdown, low-end flex play, go for it. Don't love it. Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, Chisholm, not even touching them, not even thinking about them in redraft. Now, onto the Giants side, and I see, this is how you know it's full through. Wan'Dale Robinson is a smash start of mine in the video. I don't know why he's in flex. I absolutely love this guy this week. Even though, you could say Chris Gonzalez is on that side, don't worry. Wan'Dale Robinson lines up in the slot at the #1 rate in the NFL, where Chris Gonzalez does not travel. So you get the New England Patriots defense, and they've dropped drastically. Remember, they also took another injury at corner last week. So they're giving up 35 points a game, ranking 25th, 500 passing yards, and here's the number. 8 touchdowns to the wide receiver. That's #1 in the NFL over the 4-game span, and no one even has 7. So that's how many they've given up. You got to like Wan'Dale Robinson here. Man, I really messed this graphic up at the end. I also have Darius Slayton as a low-end flex sleeper play. So, when you're looking at the matchup here, we just got to hope that they stay in the game, right? And I think they are. I think this is going to be a very, very competitive Monday Night Football game. And Diggs and Wan'Dale Robinson are must-starts for me in this game. Thanks for rocking with me. That is the end of the wide receiver stardom sit-em every single matchup heading into week 13. I hope you guys enjoyed the content. Remember, if you have any questions, comments, always drop them down below. It doesn't even have to pertain to this video. I try to answer every single one of them for you guys. And if you haven't already on your way out, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button. It helps me out a ton. You guys have been absolutely amazing. The best fantasy football community on the planet. And make sure you have that bell on so you know when I'm live, guys. And if you guys remember, if you haven't checked out the sponsors or our premium Discord, both those links are in the description of the video. That is it for me. I'm going to try to get my tight end stardom sit-em video either out today or tomorrow morning. I don't know how it's going to go, but I will get it to you guys. That's it for me. Sleazebomb out. I'll catch you in the next one.